My disability is not hidden on my LinkedIn profile. I actually use that to draw attention to the fact that disabled people can and do work. It also makes it easier to connect with other disabled people and our allies. Wheelchair access is non-negotiable for me at work, so I may as well be upfront about it. When I was a child, not many disabled people had jobs. You were just expected to go on the disability support pension. So even people who could have worked were often denied that opportunity. A lot of people still assume that disabled people can't work. I'm an activist because I'm working to change that perception and help employers to see that disabled workers do have a valuable contribution to make. Having a disability can have quite an impact on you job searching. Unfortunately, a lot of employers assume that employing us will be really difficult without actually checking what's true. I've had interviews where I've immediately thought I had no chance of getting the job because of the look on the employer's face when they saw that I had a disability, despite the fact that they really liked my work history. When you struggle to find work because of people's prejudices or a lack of accessible workplaces and limited accessible public transport, eventually you actually do become less employable because you have fewer experiences to offer. It's exciting when you find a manager who will give you a go. I've had a few who've told me that at the beginning they were a little uncertain about putting me on, but they were really glad in the end that they'd done it. Sometimes it means finding different ways to do things, like using captions on a Zoom call to help me take notes. Advances in technology help a lot. These days I can use voice to text to give me a good typing speed, so it's less of a problem that I can't move my fingers fast enough for touch typing. I often find that being a worker with disability enables me to encourage clients or fellow employees who are facing challenges. They know that my life hasn't been plain sailing, so when I encourage them to keep persevering or on something that may be difficult, they know that it comes from life experience. That can be worth a lot to a student struggling to learn English, an elderly person struggling to accept acquired disability, or a candidate who's nervous about an interview. Employing disabled people has clear advantages for your business. Disabled people are part of your customer base. If you employ disabled people, you'll be better equipped to sell to those people as well because you understand what they're looking for. We tend to be very good at creative thinking and problem solving. Living an ordinary life can demand admin and project management skills as you check access, arrange transport, and make sure that your needs can be accommodated before you go anywhere. Disabled people have a lot to contribute. Disabled people are about 20% of the population and should be represented in similar proportions in the workplace. And yet the employment rate is still 10% and hasn't changed in over 20 years. It's becoming more common for disabled kids to be included in mainstream education rather than being segregated off into special schools. And that will do a lot to normalise the inclusion of disabled people into the community and eventually the workplace. If you're open to hiring someone with disability, think through the tasks that the job actually involves. Does the person need to lift things, use a computer, answer telephone calls, take notes? Make sure that those things are clear in the job ad and include a statement in the job advertisement that you're willing to be flexible if in fact you are. Ask questions about what people can do and how they might do it. There could be strategies that they can offer about how to do things that you've never thought of. Careers for Purpose is keen to help employers and employees have those conversations. So make sure that employees get the staff they need and that employees thrive. So one of your options is to work with us. You don't need particular training to hire someone with disability. You just need an open mind and you need to welcome diversity. Disability awareness training is a great idea if it's run by a disabled person who can speak from direct experience. Not only are disabled people your potential employees, we're your clients, your customers, and your neighbours. As with any awareness training, disability awareness helps people think about things from someone else's point of view. It builds empathy and helps you serve people's needs better. You might want to hold some training to ensure that you provide a disabled employer with a safe workplace. If someone has epilepsy, it would be really sensible to train everyone to recognise a seizure and know what to do. If a person is blind, make sure that people know how to assist them around the office and what will make things more difficult for them. You want to think about how accessible your workplaces are in general terms before you are face to face with a disabled candidate. You don't want to miss out on your candidate of choice because you didn't think ahead. You don't have to wait until you have disabled workers or clients to see the benefits either. Many accessibility features are useful for people without disabilities too. I need flat access because I'm a wheelchair user, but you'll also appreciate that access when you buy new office furniture and need to get it in. A person with autism might need a quiet space to retreat to, but you're likely to find that other people appreciate that as well. Many disabled people had been asking for years for the option to work at home. COVID showed us not only that it was possible, but that many people who are disabled who are not disabled also have a strong preference for it. There's government assistance available to make reasonable adjustments to accommodate disabled workers and enable them to be at their most productive. People might need particular equipment such as a speech-to-text program, a screen reader, or a height adjustable desk. The Employment Assistance Fund can help with that. They'll listen to what's needed and the requirements of the job and do an assessment, then request funding accordingly. Whether an adjustment is reasonable depends on the circumstances and how they all come together. How significant a change are you looking at, and what are the costs and benefits of it? Not just the financial costs, but also the opportunity costs. What do you gain if you do it, and what do you lose if you don't? In terms of the financial cost, is it affordable for the business? And the answer to that will depend on the business's situation. But many people don't need money spent at all for adjustments.